Hello, it's John Heaton, and I'm back after having taken a bit of a break over Christmas, and belated Happy New Year to everyone. And today I'm going to revisit this album from Ringo, Old Wave, for a couple of reasons. But before I do that, I'll just tell you a couple of things which have been happening. Over Christmas I picked up this McCartney Legacy Part 2 covering 1974 to 80. I'm about 2/3 of the way through that. It's a superb book. I'm going to review the whole, probably volumes 1 and 2 together when I finish volume 2. So that's been a great read. I know I've been saying recently I've stopped buying vinyl and stopped trying to increase my vinyl collection, but I did pick up this copy of City to City, Swedish copy on blue vinyl, very nice, and only cost me the equivalent of a £5, so I thought that was pretty good value. You know, blue vinyl, always like coloured vinyl, and this is quite an amusing purchase. I've been looking for this for some time. This is the Boney M album Love for Sale. I picked up a copy of this not so long ago, but without the poster, and every time I go into a second-hand record shop I'm looking for the one with the poster, and this one had it, and I was very happy to pick that up. And it's a hilarious poster, but I don't think I'm going to have it on my wall or anything, but I'll just open it up to show you. This is an absolutely huge poster, and yeah, as I say, I'm not going to have it on my wall, but it's very nice to have that, because as I say, I've seen many copies of this album over the years, but none with the poster. So that was very good. So back to Old Wave. Well, I bought my son this for Christmas, Richie. I couldn't quite justify buying a copy for myself as well, because I already have it on the old version. But this is a very nice picture disc, which came out very recently. So this album came out in 1983. But before I get to that album, excuse me, I'm just going to say a couple of things I'm looking forward to in 2025. Well, of course, we have the new Ringo album coming out on Friday, no less, in 2 days' time. My expectations are somewhat muted for that, should we say, but I'll be giving it a fair listen and I'll review it on my channel. But as I say, my expectations are not through the roof there. Interesting news regarding the McCartney Archive series. In the recent tour program for Paul in the UK in December, the program said, watch out for news on the archive set, so they haven't forgotten about it. Just the question of what's going to be next, and most of us are praying it's going to be London Town or Back to the Egg. It could be, I suppose, Press to Play or Broad Street, but please let's get it in the right order, Paul. But anyway, so that could be a good thing to look forward to this year. Maybe we're going to see a belated 50th anniversary of Walls and Bridges as well. That would be great. And I was hoping to review Badfinger's Head First album, but the CD has been unavailable from their website, and it's not available on streaming. And I couldn't quite justify forking out for the vinyl, so I'm going to have to delay talking about Head First, but that was an exciting release as well. So back to the album. Well, this practically didn't get a release in 1983. No one in the US wanted to release it, no one in the UK. Can you imagine how dispiriting it would have been for an ex-Beatle not to have a record label interested in releasing your latest product? So this album only came out in 3 countries that I'm aware of: Canada, Brazil and Germany. This is a German copy I've got, which I bought on the import in HMV. I've still got the sticker with the price, HMV £6.49, which I guess was a little bit more expensive than a normal vinyl was in 1983. There was no promotion made for this album for obvious reasons. If Ringo didn't have a record label or it wasn't released in the major territories, then there's no point in him promoting it. No promo videos made, no hits, it goes without saying. But it's a decent album, and it was well produced by Joe Walsh. Unfortunately, the credits on the album are written in gold here. Virtually illegible. Not only is the font tiny, but gold on dark brown is pretty difficult to make out, so that's a bit frustrating. But very, very well produced by Joe Walsh, and good band playing throughout, which lends sort of a good degree of consistency in terms of the sound, which, unlike Stop and Smell the Roses, which is a bit all over the place, I thought. This is a very consistent sound, and Mo Foster's on bass. We played with various people. He just died last year, I was reading. He played on Jerry Rafferty's Night Owl, to name one. And also Sheena Easton's hit 9 to 5, he was playing bass on that. So Gary Brooker is from Procol Harum, is on keyboards. He'd obviously played with various people as well over the years. He died in 2022. Joe Walsh, ex-Eagles, is on guitar and producing. Ringo's on drums, not assisted by anyone here. Chris Stainton, who I mainly know from being in Eric Clapton's band, is on piano or keyboards, and he'd also played with The Who and various other people. And then there's one track which features a kind of ensemble of sort of stars: John Entwistle, Eric Clapton, Ray Cooper, Russ Kenkel, Waddy Watchell, an instrumental. So yeah, so now should we get to the album? Well, it starts off very strongly with In My Car, and actually side one features the first three tracks are co-written by Joe Walsh and Ringo. In My Car is a very strong opener, very good electric guitar driven rocker, and in my view way superior to the singles which had been released from Stop and Smell the Roses. In fact, better than the singles released on Bad Boy or Ringo the Fourth as well. I would go as far as saying that. And it's a superb track, and it rocks along, and good band. And Hopeless is another Walsh-Starkey composition, and is top tier as far as I'm concerned, with hilarious words about the Martians have invaded, it's hopeless. Everybody dance. Yeah, it's a great track, and it actually turned up on the Best of Ringo Volume 2. Actually, it was on the CD, it didn't turn up on the vinyl for some reason. In My Car was on both versions of the Greatest Hits Volume 2. Alibi, another Walsh-Starkey composition, not a slight dip in quality here, but pretty decent. Be My Baby is a pretty hilarious song written solely by Joe Walsh. And Formal Introduction, Such a Waste of Time, Let's Get Down to Business. And Joe Walsh is singing through a sort of vocoder type device in the chorus, or Ringo as well. And yeah, it's very, very effective. Good song, play this one loud. She's About a Mover is a cover of an old 50s song written by Doug Sahm. And it's a superb choice for a cover, for a Ringo song to cover, and it rocks along. It's got slightly different musicianship on this album, on this particular track. Sherwood Ball, Carl David, Joe Walsh, Freebo, Peter Burnett, Bruce McPherson, Sam Clayton, Joe Layla, Jackie Marcelino, Garrett Adkins, Lee Thornburg and David Woodford are all credited here. I guess some of those might be the horn section. And Joe Walsh supplies an absolutely brilliant guitar solo, scorching, I think is the word. And it's a great end to side one. So a good start for this album. Unfortunately, side two is not so good. It starts off pretty strongly with a Lieber Stoller cover of I Keep Forgetting, which is good drumming from Ringo and well played, good guitar from Joe Walsh, and then a charming song written by John Reid and John State called Picture Show Life, very catchy. That's nice, so far so good. And then, inexplicably, the album just goes downhill, and pretty fast. Unfortunately, as far as we can go, which had been a ballad written by Russ Ballard, pun not intended, and recorded back in '78, it was given a sort of new treatment. I think the vocal was kept and the backing was redone, but either way it's a bit of a maudlin ballad and nothing to write home about at all. Everybody's in a hurry but me. This instrumental with John Entwistle and Eric is just pretty forgettable. And then Going Down is practically just a workout. It sounds like a demo. Unfinished words and very disappointing. So I'm not quite sure if they lost interest halfway through, but it's just the back cover of the picture disc. Very nice, very nicely packaged. We haven't actually opened this to look inside, but Stop and Smell the Roses is also released on picture disc, but we didn't pick that one up yet. So that was Ringo Starr's Old Wave. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.